Hello everyone, it's Friday night, and you know what that means. Time for another Aaron's Friday Night Stream Spectacular. This week, as I announced earlier, we're dedicating the bulk of tonight's stream to this beautiful piece of equipment right here, the Magnovox Odyssey 2. A lovely, lovely console from back in the late 70s, early 80s. I believe this thing came out either 79 or 80. It was very early in the game. Yes, 79. This was my childhood machine right here, the Odyssey 2. I love this machine. I hooked it up today, tested it, worked great. Did the show, announced we were doing Odyssey 2, and then tested it again, and the keyboard stopped working. Just like that. Bam. And so, that's a real bummer. But while I've got it out here, I'll show you the... this is a typical Odyssey 2 game. Showdown in 2100 AD. They open up like this. You've got your sleeve here with your instruction manual, and then you've got your cartridge. Cartridges have a little handle on them. The boxes for these are always awesome. You got the awesome box for these, which were always great. And then of course, you've got your multi-cart here. The multi-cart, unique in the annals of multi-cartery, because of its incredibly bizarre. You've got those are actually dip switches on the cart that you have to set to use the multi-cart, which is crazy, but that's the way the cart works. So, unfortunately, the Odyssey 2 is not working. So what does that mean? It means I'm going to have to come up with something else. Well, I did. I had just enough time to dump all the Odyssey 2 ROMs into CoinOps, and so we'll be emulating some Odyssey 2 tonight. So the fun will still happen with some Odyssey 2 action as we move along to the Odyssey 2. It's going to be good times, no worries, and then I'll take the Odyssey 2 and fix it when I get a chance. It should be no problem. These little things happen when you've got a system this old. So I've had enough time to put together a pretty decent build of CoinOps, though. I'm pretty happy with it. So let's switch over and take a look. Okay. So, as you know, I have some knowledge of emulating systems through the CoinOps front end. And one thing about the majority of consoles, is especially older consoles, is they're not that difficult to emulate. Yeah, I know, Pix. Now, but what are you going to do? Hey, whenever life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. And I feel like I made lemonade here because literally until 6 o'clock today, no one on Earth that I know of has an Odyssey 2 front-end emulation set up for CoinOps next, and now I do. And I think it's probably good enough to release. I think it's not bad at all. I used a little bit of art that I found from the Hyperspin people, and just worked some magic, and there we go. And so we're in, and it looks nice. You get to see all the boxes. What happened, Mitts, was that the keyboard stopped working, which is vital to playing O2 stuff, because that's how you start the games. So that's a real bummer. You know, the only thing I can think of, y'all, is that one of the things I did was clean this thing off, and I don't know if what I used to clean the keyboard could have affected it. This is a membrane keyboard, and so you know, it is what it is. But that's okay, because we have other options, my friends. And the other options are the Odyssey 2 front end for CoinOps. So what I did was I took the ROMs. These are American and European ROMs. This is most of the stuff. There were a few prototypes and stuff that I didn't fiddle with. And this was a wham bam, sort of Bob's your uncle, quick time act to get this thing going. But I've tested this, knock on wood, and it seems to be working fine. So we will give it a shot. And I will play anything you would like to see on the Odyssey 2. I'm going to start off with one of my favorites, just to make sure that I get it in tonight. And that's going to be Pickaxe Pete. This is a great game. I actually own this game. I own quite a few Odyssey 2 games, actually. Oh, you've got a video pack, Mitts? Well, of course, obviously the same. They're pretty much the exact same system. The Pickaxe Pete was part of the sort of strategy and action series that they had for the Challenger series. It was called for the Odyssey 2, and I believe there are a few other ones. I think Casey Munchin was in that series too, amongst others. I'm sure we'll get to that one tonight. Before it's all said and done, I'm going to be using. It's sadly. I got this thing oiled up and ready to go. This is what an Odyssey. I should probably go to big screen here. This is what an Odyssey 2 joystick looks like, and it's a really good stick. Now, I made some modifications to my Odyssey a couple years ago to give it composite outputs, and also these sticks were hardwired onto the Odyssey, which was a real bummer. And the cable they used was a flat cable. And it was prone to get destroyed even back when I was a kid. And so I pulled all that out and installed Atari joystick ports, the usual ports in the back of this thing. And so I can actually use the Odyssey joystick on other machines, which is kind of cool. But that's what the Odyssey 2, that's what that looks like right there. All right. So let's get to it then and crank some of this stuff up. Hey, Picard, what's going on? Oh, yeah, I can share that. Thanks, Buck. I thought it was pretty good for a few hours. But we're going to be using the non-trusty, not as good joystick for this effort here. Make a quick change here, and then we will be off and running. So if you've got anything, if there's any games you guys would like to see, maybe some of you guys aren't real super familiar with the Odyssey 2, which is cool. We can kind of go in and figure it out as we go. This is Pickaxe Pete. This is one of the many Donkey Kong tribute games, if you will. But I think this one's way, way different. And it's just wacky and kind of a lot of fun. One thing to remember about Odyssey is most of their games didn't give you lives. You just played till you died. There were some that give you lives, but not a ton. You guys can tell me if I sound okay and if the game sounds okay. Because the Odyssey, I noticed, can tend to get loud. It can get very, very, very loud. So, this is Pete. You start the game out with a pickaxe. And you go from there. Now, the object of this game is to get through those doors. Those things that are spitting out boulders are also doors. And so what you're going to want to do is wait till some boulders hit each other. Uh-oh. And then get the key and jump into one of those doors. It just keeps going. That's pretty much the long and short of it. You start every level with a pickaxe. The Odyssey, of course, having a keyboard, it had advantages over other machines. And one of the advantages is this is one of the games where you could actually type in your name, which I always thought was kind of neat. So now we've got to try to avoid boulders until a couple of them hit. There's the key. Now we need a ladder to pop up. Well, the ladder popped up in the wrong spot. Oh! We didn't make it. Yes, another minor game, Picard, but I mean, this is as dissimilar. There's not really any game like this one. It's an unusual game, but it was fun. Me and the Brent used to play just the absolute heck out of this. One of the things you've got to be careful is when you walk into those blocks, they'll spit you out, and they have a tendency to spit you out in weird directions. You can see by the way your guy's arms are. I'm going to try to catch this thing. I didn't get there. That tells you what he's like. If his arms are down, he's going to duck, right? So that means he's going to jump to the right. That one's too far away. I need one over here, because it's risky to go over there. So we can just kill time for a minute until, like, this could be our one. Now, occasionally, instead of a key, it'll drop a pickaxe, but we got lucky there. Now, one thing about this game is, if you get hit by a boulder on the way into the door, you still get to go in. So you can actually die, but keep playing, which is kind of neat. The Odyssey, of course, was a direct competitor of the Atari 2600, and for a certain time the Intellivision as well, and the ColecoVision and Channel F. All those early generations of consoles. I'm not going to risk that one, but I would not shoot. Gosh, at least I cartwheeled to my doom. The Odyssey though had some advantages over those machines. I mean, not a ton, but like of course the keyboard's an advantage. Another advantage it had was a voice synthesizer, which predates the Intellivisions and others. And the which I don't have this thing, by the way. I'd love to have it. It's called the Voice. I've had many chances to get it, and I didn't get it like an idiot. But it's on my list because it adds a pretty interesting, voices and noise to the machine, and a few games really take advantage of it, some more than others. But the Odyssey, despite having a keyboard, in America they didn't do much with it. In Europe, they actually released a programming tool with this. I can't imagine what you could possibly program on this thing, but I guess someone somewhere felt like to give it a shot. Hey, Rob O'Hara in the house. This is the Odyssey 2, Rob, from Magnovox. It's funny, when I was a kid, the number one place we used to buy games for this was Lazarus, which is a big retail store back in the day. I guess they're still around, but I don't know where any of them are. They've all went away. But Lazarus is sort of an upscale department store, I guess, sort of like a Macy's. Another place you could get cartridges for this was at a place called Best, and Best was a place that actually this is an unusual place. You actually would place your orders, and you would go in there, and they would just have them there. You could look around, but you didn't pick stuff up and just take it to the counter. Like they would get it out of the back. I think Best either became or got bought by Service Merchandise, which pretty much did the same thing. Really, you could not go to there was nowhere else to buy games for this play around here. Like software places and stuff, they didn't carry Odyssey 2 carts. I don't know if it was because they were under exclusivity agreements. I don't know how that worked. The games were pretty expensive, I'd say, at the time. Of course, I've got a price tag on this one, and I think it's going. I bought it like, oh, son of a gun, there's the key. Well, at least I got it posthumously. I'm pretty sure this one was bought recently. Oh, this one sold at Higbee's for $20. Which I don't know what a Higbee's is, to be honest with you. So I'm not sure where that one came from. Is Higbee's a British? Oh, is that a British retailer, guys? Boat. Do you remember when Children's Palace was at the old location? Yes, it was right beside it. I'm sure that's what you're talking about. Boat asked me where it was at. I think that the games were around $30, but it's funny. I've got the original box for this thing, and some of the games receipts are in there. So at some point in the future, I'll go have a look. But right now, off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. Do I have a key? Oh, I do. There you go. Yeah, Boat, you got it, buddy. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly right, Boat. Now, Boat's got it. It was a real strange place to buy stuff. Mom and Dad would go there occasionally, but the only reason I wanted to go is because they had an Odyssey 2 there you could play, so you could try out some of the games. Being an Odyssey kid was a bummer, and I'm sure anyone that picks whatever's not winning this console wars or the computer wars, you're always sort of that kid. And I was that kid that had the Odyssey 2. I never met a single other person that had an Odyssey 2 when I was a kid. I don't remember anybody. So there was no trading games or any of that stuff. You were pretty much got whatever you got, and you were happy you had it. That's pretty much all there was to it. But I liked it. We always had a good time. Me and the Brent, we played the heck out of it. A lot of my friends had Atari 2600s or Intellivisions. I don't know if I knew anyone that had a ColecoVision either. I'm trying to think if I knew anyone at the time that had one. I don't think I did. I saw them in the stores, and they were awesome. I was blown away by them at the time. Oh, no. This is where it starts getting harder because the levels start losing, you're losing parts of it. Eventually you get to the point where not only are you losing parts of the levels, but, oh, man, I'm in a real bad spot here, yeah. But eventually the levels will start becoming invisible and stuff. I believe, and I'm not 100% sure on this, but I believe this had a level editor in it as well. A surprising amount of Odyssey games had, like, I know Casey Munchin also had a level editor. So as I recall, that you could make your own levels. So that's kind of a neat aspect of it. As this game rolls on and you'll start losing chunks of the levels, it gets a lot more dangerous because the boulders do all kinds of crazy stuff. Oh, swing and a miss. Okay, there we go. But I think this is one of the better games for the machine. It's one I definitely want to highlight, and I think the consensus is that it's one of the better ones. It's on a machine that's not perfect. Funny thing about these games is while you're playing, you can go ahead and type in your name. Keyboard's active. That you could. There you go. You can do that stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and back out of this, and we will play whatever you guys want. If anybody has something they'd like to see out of the list here, I'm more than happy to play it. If you see something scrolling by that looks interesting to you, or whatever. Of course, if you are really into the Odyssey 2, I suggest you go back and watch a very brilliant video boat shot of us playing Quest of the Rings. Boat used like 5 or 6 cameras and caught every aspect of the game. This is a game that also has a game board, like a play board, like a board game. And so it's a board game and a video game combined. It was a lot of fun. And we had a good time playing it. Now, I don't know about the emulation. I'm using MES. So if we see weirdness, I haven't tested this. I'm assuming by now they would have this thing sorted. But Brazilian Popeye. Well, I think it's on here. Let me see. Okay. I remember the Popeye on this being quite odd. So there you go. You can see that this is a Parker Brothers release. This was a real rarity among Odyssey 2 games. There were not a lot of third-party manufacturers or programmers for the Odyssey 2. In fact, the majority of the games were done by one guy. He did a ton of these games, just the one guy. So this is one that I never saw. I don't believe this was ever released in the States. You can see that the box is in French. So I believe this is a European and French release. So what the heck? Let's give her a shot. Ah, huzzah! I knew it. All right. So what you've got here is Popeye. Gosh, I don't even remember how to play this. I know there's a special way you're supposed to get down. I don't even remember how to get off the platforms. Oh! It's not that way. I distinctly remember you having this exact same problem, Boat. I know those things do something. Like, in case you're wondering what you're looking at here, you got olive at the top, and you've got Bluto at the bottom, and there's a little green dot is the spinach. But I can't remember how to get off these platforms without dying. Yeah, this one's not good. Hey, you wanted to see it. I warned you. There we go. We got a heart. I know getting down has something to do with these doodads, but I don't remember what exactly you're supposed to do. Horrible. Yeah. This was not... There's a reason why this one wasn't released anywhere. Yeah, that's Bluto is the green guy. Popeye is the white fellow at the top there. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, you wanted to see it? You could tell people you saw Brazilian Odyssey 2 Popeye. And there you go. I think I'm going to move on. Horrible. A horrible game. But what are you going to do, you know? All right, let's see if we can get this to work now. I was always a fan of Super Cobra, and I own Super Cobra. This game is a one hard game of Super Cobra, though. The Odyssey 2 only had one button, and it's a sort of Spectrum-y in a way. This is this takes Super Cobra and turns it into a one-screen game, which I always thought was kind of neat. But the missiles in this are deadly accurate. I mean, they're real tough to avoid. Plus, you've got to be real careful where you put yourself as the screen scrolls, because you will actually get caught behind a wall. So and sometimes it just happens, you can't help it. You know, I used to own a Super Cobra back in the day, and I believe the cabinet was so waterlogged that I finally ended up throwing away. But I did sell all the son of a gun. I did sell all the control panel and whatnot, so that didn't get wasted. Gosh, right there's what I'm talking about, right there. Barely got out of the way. Like I said, the missiles are real tough. Oh! The scrolling, though, this is a game, again, this is another, I think this was another Parker Bros. Release. Oh, no. I broke in half. I believe this is another Parker Brothers release, and again, it was an unusual title. This was not one I had, but I would have wanted it if I'd known about it, because I was a big fan of this game. And also Scramble. I'm a big fan of that one too. I like these bombing stuff games. Man, controls are... I do miss my joystick on this. These missiles are tough. Look at that. I will say, if you look close, you can see the little bits of fire coming out from the missiles. I always thought that was kind of cool. These were the little things you noticed when you had an Odyssey 2, because it was not very often that there were little flares of anything. Yeah. Yeah. I saw a couple people mention they'd had Odyssey 2s or the equivalent. Are there a lot of people in the crowd that have played Odyssey 2s? Anybody here played Odyssey 2 for any length of time? They fall somewhere between, I would say, between the 2600 and the Channel F. I guess there's somewhere in the middle. You know, you can't hear any sound from the game. There's not much to be heard on this one, but I can make that happen. See if that doesn't help. I don't want you to miss this high fidelity sound. Oh, see, you're in bad shape right there. Oh! I just took it. I think the hits are listed, yeah, on the right. Oh, son of a gun. There you go. So yeah, not the best. You know, the Twin Galaxies record holder, Buck. That's pretty cool. Is it on this game or the arcade version? I would assume it's the arcade version. I had a feeling we would not get a ton of requests, and I consider probably most people on what the machine has to offer. So I'm just going to run you through some of the ones I've gotten. If you think of something you want to see, let me know. Wow, no kidding. That's... so you're the record holder on this, Buck? That's amazing. I'm not surprised. All right, Mitch, we'll try UFO. I don't remember what this one is all about. It looks like we have a focus issue again. Let me see if I can figure out why. There we go. Well, I figured that out, didn't I? All right. Well, this is pretty cool. Oh man, I vaguely remember this. Oh. There we go. Yeah, you've got a shield that you shoot with. That is wacky. You hold the button down, you can move the. You can sort of go around. Oh, yeah. I do remember this. I may have this now that I play it. You own this one, Mitz? I think I do too, now that I play it. Like I said, I haven't played a lot of these for a long time. Oh! That guy's deadly. At least he can get hit by the asteroids. I actually like the look of this. You know, I was listening to, for those that haven't heard it, Boat has a new show, and with Neil of Retro Man Cave, and it's a great show, and they go over the week's news and tech. I think it's called This Week in Retro, and they mentioned today that these games, I think it was Neil that mentioned that he couldn't understand why people would want to play the old games on the 2600, but I think there's a lot of merit in some of these older games. What is it, buddy? Okay, buddy. I got a hamper there. Streaming. Yeah, sorry, my son. But anyway, I think that if you go back and play some of these older games, there's fun to be had. I mean, they're not, a lot of them aren't the best, but there is some good stuff in there if you look around. Yeah. This is, like, the firing mechanism, this is real strange, I have to say. Yeah, that's one thing, exactly right, Pines. The one thing that the 2600 did, and the O2 does it to a certain degree, is that you've got all these crazy variants. And that's one thing the Atari had that I just loved. I love that, too, that you get shot and you can still keep going. But if you played Asteroids or Space Invaders or a lot of the other games on the Atari, they would have, like, whole different games than you'd ever played in the arcade. You could have Space Invaders with invisible invaders. You could change the speed, change the amount of invaders, how close they are to when they're underground. Asteroids, the same thing. There were tons and tons of variations, and a lot of variation games are actually a lot of fun. And that's something, variations on games sort of went away, I guess, when games stopped being simpler games. You know, so I don't know, I always wonder why that was. I do kind of dig this, though. It's it's strange to me. I'm trying to control the fire, but it's still kind of neat. Yeah, Mega Mania. It's funny that game's got a lot of people that love it. All right, I'm gonna move along here, but that was a good call, man. That's like I think I've got that now once I started playing it, but I wasn't 100% sure on that one. Yeah. All right. Where was I going when I stopped? Gosh, there's so many of these I've never played before or even heard of. The ones that you think would be bad are bad. We'll see. Like, look at that. Musician. That's kind of interesting that you could do that on something like this. Let's try. You know, my brother, we did this on ARG, and I remember it being really wacky. I think this was a European-only release as well. Okay. Whoops. Yeah, you can't bust your balloon. I like the animation on the guy, though, in this. It looks cool. I mean, that's for the Odyssey, that's pretty impressive. And I remember you could actually ride these rides. Oh, that's the wind. He blew my balloon. Yeah, I think, as I recall, you have to get out the exit with the balloon. There we go. Let's try this again. All right. Uh-oh, bird. No. Good night, pigs. It's actually, my brother was actually halfway decent. Let me see if I can actually ride one of the rides. Because I remember that was sort of the appeal. Yeah, there you go. You can ride it for a second. You can also, that merry-go-round, there's a way to ride that, and I think that's a slicky slide there, too, that you can go on. I don't remember their importance to the game. They were off the top of my head. I thought this was a pretty advanced title for this machine, though. Again, that's probably the best articulation of the human form I think I've ever seen on the Odyssey. But yes, it's not easy. Yeah, it's unforgiving too, Gel. I wish I could sit here and tell you I know exactly what I'm doing, but we played this one a while back on ARG, and I don't remember how exactly how to play it. Let me try it one more time here. Oh yes, okay. It's coming back to me now. So you can actually throw your balloon. I'd forgotten about that. Fake pixels. Yes. I think you may be onto something there. So if you let your balloon go, you can actually go. So we'll road that, and then we're going to we'll go down the slide. And we'll go in the merry-go-round. Yeah. You show me a game that lets you do that. I'm begging you. Then you get killed. But still, it's wacky. It's very wacky. I remember playing that one and thinking that Brent was onto something. Here's a winner. We can't go through the Odyssey 2 without playing Killer Bees. A game that was actually ported over to the Amiga by our good buddy Mr. James, who did the port of this. He also ported over Casey Munchin. Brilliant ports of the game, by the way. And was working on Lord of the Rings. Now, this game, you are the bees, which is cool. And what your job is to do is to kill these guys. Now, in the book, it says they're robots or whatever, but that's crap. Man, you're killing people. Now, you can see the other colored swarms, the green ones, those are the bad bees. And so what you want to do is use your zapper. That's that thing floating around the side of the screen to zap them. This is a real fun game. I like the fact that guys slow down more as your bees are getting them. And you'll notice my swarm will get smaller when the enemy bees go in there because the enemy bees are killing them off. See how they slow down before they finally die? So we're going to try to coax some guys. Oh, I missed them. Oh my God. You can get down to where you have no bees, which I think I think I am. Nope. Oh, yeah, I did get killed there, so we're starting over. Sometimes it's hard to tell. This plays great on the Amiga. So if you've got an Amiga, you should look these up. He did a great job. This is a Wu-Tang game. I think they did a neat job with with the bees going away whenever you get nailed. Yeah, you're right. You're right, dude. Buck, you're a connoisseur of this old stuff, so I can understand why you appreciate it. It's they don't. It's funny. This is another game I don't own. I think I may have bought it since I heard about it, but it's definitely not one that I knew about back in the day. Shoot. There's a science to getting those guys with the bug zapper, but I'm not very good at it. There we go. There we go. That took care of them. But yeah, they'll come back out and enforce. You can see how quick that guy's going. You got to slow him down. Time to die, sir. I believe the rule book says these are robots. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's a Specky port of this? You're kidding me. I didn't even know that. Outstanding. Who knew? Who'd have thought that the Odyssey 2 would be getting ported to these other machines? It makes me happy. It does. I'm a sucker for that sort of thing. I admit it. Kill a couple more of these guys. Oh, you're kidding me. I've got to look these ports up. I see a video coming on. A multi-port video on Killer Bees. I think that's great. Come here, pal. There we go. I got extra points there, but I'm not sure how. Not sure about how the point system goes on this, so I'm not 100% sure why I got those. Oh man, my swarm's looking rough. This is a good game that I've had. A pretty good game. Oh, I didn't get nobody. Yeah, there it is. Ha ha ha. Oh, this is one that if you have the voice, it sounds really awesome. Which I don't have. But I'd say one of these days I'll be getting it. Well, while we're here, we might as well have a look at this. This is another famous game. I'm sure anyone that knows anything about the Odyssey has heard the tale of Casey Munchin with the obvious Pac-Man clone that it is. This was taken to court and you know, taken care of basically by the powers that be. But I have always thought this was a really neat game, and this is another game that has tons and tons of variants. And this is just the standard game. And the one thing about this game that was interesting is that the power pellets would move, and they'll move all over the map. And so your job is just go after them. There's not as many, but since they move, they're harder to get. You know, of course, this first level was pretty simple stuff, but when you move on, it gets very elaborate in a way that Pac-Man never did. And this is probably the most successful and most famous Odyssey 2 game that there ever was, because and you only get one man. Did I mention that? This is another one of those. This game was actually one of the best games they released. It's a fun game, and they do a good job. You get your Pac-Man fix, but with a twist. And there's also something else that it had, aside from the fact that you had the traveling power pellets and all that sort of stuff, is you get different maps. And some of the maps get incredibly elaborate. I'll show you one of the variant maps here after this game here, and let you see what it looks like. It's really, they get really bizarre, including splitting the screen into 4 separate areas that you have to go through the ghost house to get to the other layers, which I always thought was kind of neat. It's a shame that Odyssey, a lot of people think, oh, this is a game that Odyssey could have broke through with or whatever. I don't know about that. But it's a darn clever version of Pac-Man. Which have a pretty decent little run out here. But here you have to chase the last dot. This is what can get you killed. There we go. You can see it speeds up. Oh, and that's not good. And these dots are not in the best spots. I need to take care of these. So now it's time to chase the dots. Like I said, this is the hardest part of the game. Oh! So, let me switch to one of the variant games here. I don't remember exactly what break was. I'll probably just reload it and then I'll pick a game. I think, believe I can pick game 4. Okay, this is a version where you've got disappearing walls. I think there, or it could just be a separate maze. You can see, look at all this open real estate here. When those dots get flying, it gets crazy up in there, you know. Let me try the next one, because I definitely want to show you that. Let's try 8. Yeah, here we go. Oh, this is double trouble. This is an invisible maze with that thing in the middle. Now, you'll see when the maze is lit up, you have to go through the ghost house to get to the rest of the maze. And that makes it so much more difficult. I mean, it's brutally... This right here is the hardest level you could have. And you can see why. I mean, it's super duper ridiculously tough. But I like the idea that you have to go through their little house to get anywhere. I think that's kind of cool. You know, so right now, like, nothing can get us right now. There's nothing here. So we've got free reign to go through here. Oh, Mitch, do you have this memorized or do you have the book in front of you? Because if you've got it memorized, I am impressed. Very impressed. That'd be quite a treat. So now we're done with there. Now we can go and knock this guy out. So actually, we've gotten pretty lucky here with the lay of this thing so far. Now we've got the last dot. Of course, we've got ghosts up there, and we may pick up more. Oh, bam! No easy task. No easy task at all. I feel pretty happy about that. This had a sequel, Casey's Crazy Chase, where you play Casey and you're going after an inchworm. I never liked it that much, to be honest with you. But I would wager that KC is as close as the Odyssey 2 had to a mascot character. I mean, he was the mascot of this machine, that's for sure. Yeah, you did only have 2 games. Well, there you go. Some of these are 2-player. I think that's a 2-player game. I know there are several of these that are 2-player. The Great Wall Street Fortune Hunt, which me and Boat attempted to play. This is another one of the Master System games with the board and all the pieces and stuff. This thing was so incredibly complicated that we just gave up. We were going to give it the full treatment. We couldn't figure out how to play the darn thing. It was super complicated. So if anyone's played this, I'd like to hear you explain it to me. Of course, you've got football. It's American football. Electric table soccer. We got to try this. This looks like, well, it looks like something. So, okay. This is interesting. Oh, this is for 2 players only. 2 players only on that one. So there wasn't a lot of AI going on in these things. So most of the sports games are 2 players. Depth Charge Marksman. I'm not familiar with that one. Oh, here's one from a Magic. Demon Attack. Now, of course, everyone's played Demon Attack on here. On some player. And I always thought this was a really good game. I mean, it's simple by today's standards. You know, I listened to the Pixel Gaiden guys talk about Galaga the other day. They were killing Galaga, the original Galaga, and they were killing Galaxian. And I think this game falls in the same category. I think these are games that you actually sort of had to be there. I think I started a 2-player game. You had to you had to be there when this stuff came out to understand the appeal, and there was an appeal. You know, I mean, when you grew up with Space Invaders, where the guys just march down, you shot them. When all of a sudden the guys start flying around and they've got different kinds of shots and look different, then you're like, it's impressive. It's neat. And I remember the commercials, plus the box. And Magic always had the best boxes. You know, they had those pictures on them. The box was silver. You know, they're super groovy looking boxes. I always just thought they were cool. You know, oh, shoot. I did start a 2-player game. If you're wondering, I've got both players mapped to my joystick because much like some of these other machines, someone decided to have player 1 and player 2 do different stuff. And I don't know if it's a European thing versus American, but I noticed that a lot of these games used different controls. So I basically mapped them both to the same controller here, make it easier. It works out pretty well, actually, unless you're playing 2 players. I don't have a lot of people joining me for Odyssey these days. Unfortunately, a bunch of bumps. See, that right there, that's mind-blowing stuff back when I was a kid. That thing split in 2, y'all. I mean, that means something. And it looks something else that people don't get now because they have it all. Is like this stuff looked like something. That looks like if you think in your head, what's a demon look like? It could look like that. Or what's a bat look like? I mean, they got it right. It sounds like it doesn't. I mean, I feel like I'm the old guy shaking the cane. But I mean, when stuff looked like stuff, that was a pretty big deal. Because you were used to stuff just sort of being abstract. You didn't look like anything. Oh, man. I will say I think my favorite Demon Attack is probably the one on the Intellivision. It's really good. That's one they got right. Love that one. Alright. Let's see what we got on here. Football. I don't know if football has 2 players in one. We'll try it. 1. Let's see if it'll let us. We'll try it. Nope, it's definitely 2 players. But look, I'm controlling the defender and the so I've got a good chance of doing well. Okay. Oh, overshot him. This is one, you know, I didn't have any illusions about the Odyssey's ability to do a sports game. And so I didn't have too many of the sports titles. I don't think I had any. Tommy Tallarico. You know, Wishbone, the Intellivision lost a lot of steam after that press conference last week. I mean, the truth be told, truth be told, I was excited about that to a certain degree. It's what worries me about it is the software. To be honest with you, a lot of stuff they showed on their press conference were, and they won't say this, but it's true, they were ports of other games or versions of other games that with a name change, and most of the games, I'm not saying there's nothing on that system that looks like it won't be fun. The Moon Patrol looks great, for example. The Missile Command looks interesting, but I don't know if that's something I'd want to spend all that money on a console for. I mean, that's a lot of money on a console, and that stuff, I mean, let's be honest here. I could get my fix on a lot of that stuff cheaper, you know. Like, does that Moon Patrol, it's a console exclusive. I mean, really, could nothing else run that? Because I'm sort of thinking maybe that anything could run it. You know, it's not like that console. They haven't shown me anything that blows my mind where I can see, like, oh, like, I was hoping they would use the controllers in a meaningful way. You know what I mean? Like, they would show me something that those special controllers can do. It looks to me like the controllers are effectively glorified phones, and they show a lot of people using their phone instead of the controller, which makes me wonder why they bothered, to be honest with you, as opposed to just letting you use your phone. So I don't know. I will say I don't know much about Tommy Tallarico, except I used to watch him on G4, and I also he came around here with one of those video game concert things, and I went to it. It was fun, you know. And he played. He's an excellent musician. I like the idea that there's an Intellivision revival. I hope it does well. I hope the Atari does well too, but you know, we'll see. I'm not ultra excited about it. Yeah, so we'll see. Yes, yeah. Gel, that's what worries me. And they are flash gamey looking too, to be honest with you. Gotta try this computer golf. So you know, they may be great. I hope they are. Has anyone in here? Okay, thank you, Curtis. Okay, I'll get those next. Has anyone in here ordered one of the Amigos? I'd be interested to know if anyone's picked one up. Okay, or, I mean, has one ordered, pre-ordered. Let's see here. Oh, swing and a miss. I guess you have to be lined up like this. There we go. Okay. I like how your club is always drawn to the ball. Let's see, I guess you have to pick the angle. Swing and a miss. Why am I not hitting this thing? Okay. I'm dying to see if this like zooms into the green. I'm not optimistic. That would be stunning though. Oh, I gotta hold the button. This is like an actual golf game with me. If you ever wonder what it would be like to go golfing with me. Oh, did you, Buck? Okay. Oh, you too, Mitz? Mitz, were you turned off by the press conference? What was your thoughts? And Buck, since you guys are actually people that invested in this thing, what were your thoughts on the thing? Look at that. It zoomed into the green. That's it. Now, come on. Now, that's neat. I think that's ahead of the game right there, that this thing would zoom into the green. I love that. Let's see if we can figure out how we want this to go down. Okay. It have to be perfect on that ball. There it is. Oh! Come on, Mulligan. Mulligan. That's not bad. I'm going to try that. Let's try another hole. Now, this right here is real golf right here. This actually is not bad. It's not nearly as bad as I thought it would be. I'll hit it eventually. Maybe I have to be above it and hitting the other way. Try that. It's kind of hard to line that up. Whoop, no, no, no. What that? Okay. There we go. I'm going to really wallop this one. What are you saying, Jail? It's not as good as leaderboard. I remember many times swinging 10, 12 times before I hit the ball on leaderboard. It's exactly the same. Alright, well, still, it zoomed in on the green. It did get that right. Okay, Curtis asked to see Cubert. What was the other one, Curtis? Cubert was one. I don't know if I've ever looked at Cubert on here. Again, an unusual title up here. By the way, you see these box art. You can see the difference between the Philips and the Odyssey. The Odyssey crushes the Philips artwork. I mean, crushes it. Look at that artwork. It's all. Look at the black with all the the stuff coming out at you. Look how smooth and beautiful it is. Look at that. Very creative. I just love it. Frogger. Okay. Well, while we're down here, let's try Cubert. Let's try. Oh, I hit 3. Oh my god. Okay. I don't know if we've got invisible. I see Coily coming. I think he died. I think. I'm assuming we have to get all the invisible ones as well. Not an easy task. Oh! I will say for Cubert, this controls pretty well. There we go. Oh, Jesus. Did I miss one? Oh, I did. I got it. So you do have to get the invisible ones. Man, that's brutal. That's odd, too. Real strange. Okay, give you... Whoa, what is that? Oh, is that Coily? What was that? Oh, I finished the board. Well, I will say, I mean, with the weird variant aside, it plays pretty good. Yeah, it's even got that guy, what's that guy's name, Slick? It's bizarre how that thing shows up. It almost looks like a big hand. I'm actually having a pretty good run, all things considered. I'll tell you, between completing that level and Casey and Munchin and this might be the best night of playing I've had on any of these streams. Which is the sad state, but still, it's true. Alright, here comes Coily. Oh, pfft. Yeah. This wasn't the easiest game to do. Oh, shoot. Oh, those guys have been up there changing my blocks back. Oh, gosh. If they've been doing that to the invisible ones, I'm screwed. Oh. Alright, there you go, Curtis. That's interesting. Not bad. I hope the non-variants are easier. Turtles. I did see that one. We played this on the show, on ARG, Well, I'm trying to think what system it was. It was for one of these systems that had nothing, and this was on it. And it was a pretty good version, as I recall. But I'll be honest, I don't even remember how to play Turtles. It's been so long. Look at that. Turtle. That's where he lives. And look, this turtle. Yeah, no kidding, Wishbone. Okay. Oh, this one starts with the push of a button. Okay. This looks okay. Holy moly. This is a... Somebody remind me what you're supposed to do in this. Okay, yeah, you go, you get your turtle, and you take him to the house. Is that what you do? Okay. There we go. Your babies, right? There we go. All right. Oh, you can't. You have no solace in there. This was I remember this being a pretty big game. I'll be honest with you, though. I remember not caring about it because I remember this was an arcade game that I didn't care about. Hey, you know, it seems pretty solid. I like the concept of it. It's almost like a reverse Pac-Man. Oh man, those guys follow you right in. Yeah, I believe it was Shatner for the Commodore, and then you had Alan Alda. Was he the TI? And then you had, I know Cosby was in there for somebody. He cut some promos for some of these things. Oh, I seen my turtle. I'll try that one again. There's a game to be played here. It's just a matter of getting good at it. And these guys, these dots are so super fast. When they follow you in like that, you're pretty much boned. You are boned. Wasn't Shatner was for the Vic, wasn't it? Wasn't he didn't he do the Vic commercials? Yeah. Oh, so close. Come on, you can do it. Yeah. At least these things don't reverse course, so you got that going for you. Oh. One, Buck. Oh, I didn't really choose it, but I just hit the button on the joystick. And that's what, so I'm assuming it's one. These guys are super fast. Oh, okay, yeah. There we go. You can't outrun them either, eh? Alright, enough of this. I'm moving on. That was hard. That's a tough one there. Some of these I sort of don't... Oh, here's your... I guess that's pinball. Horrible. Hey, I saw soccer on here, like proper soccer, I think. Let me see if I'm crazy or not. Maybe I am. I could have sworn I saw... Maybe I just saw that crazy soccer game we tried. Play tag. Pocket billiards. Let's try that. I haven't seen that before. You kidding me? Isaac Asimov for the TRS-80s? Are you talking about the models, the early models before the Coco Curtis, or after that? That's a pretty good get when you get that guy. Okay. Well, okay. This looks like your standard sort of... Now, let's see how you actually... Okay. I don't know what... I don't know if it's... just hit all the balls in, or... Oh, this is another one. It's only two players. Player R and player L. I'm going to sink one ball here. There it is. Oh! Maybe I just crush all these balls. Something will go in. Maybe not. Trying to get the velocity of the shot down. It's hard to guess. I'm not 100% sure what makes this thing go. Maybe it depends on when you hit it. There it is. There you go. There you go. Really? He did color computer commercials? I've never seen one before. That'd be awesome. I think you got something there, Z9. Let's try, you know, these games. The Coco had one of these. The 2600 had one. This is the PT Barnum one, but the funny thing is this had different names all over the place. I remember that. Let's see if I can get it going here. Whoops. I always enjoyed these. See you later, Jill. Thanks for popping in, man. I used to play these a lot. The Coco one had a monkey in it. I remember that. Help me out, Curtis. That's right, isn't it? When there's a monkey at the top, a real cool looking monkey. There we go. This does work better with the spinner, I will say that, or the dial. Not quite as good with the clowns and balloons. That's it, man. You got it. That's exactly what I'm thinking of. You know, I should have I should have activated the analog stick on this. I probably would have controlled a lot better. You know, if anyone's interested, I don't know how many. Probably none of you guys are running coin ops, but if anyone's interested in getting hold of this Odyssey 2 build that I put together on the fly, I will definitely give it to whoever wants it. Drop me a note at argpresents@mail.com, and I will set you up. It's very small. I think the entire Odyssey catalog is now public domain as well, so we can say that without any fear of reprisal. I think this is one of the many that they released the entire library. The Vectrix library is public domain as well. It's another one. Okay, whoops. I don't know, to be honest with you, if you can post images in there or not. I know they keep a pretty tight chat, so I'm not 100% sure if you can or not. You can't even say, like, they're the most basic non-curse words you can't say. So there you go. I kind of like that one. Geez, is there anything else? Probably do a couple more here before we call it a night. Anything anybody thinks they want to see or just has a cool name you think you might want to see played, I'm more than happy to go in. Yeah, well, actually, it's funny you should mention that, Wishbone, because I have started another Twitch channel. You know, we play a lot of stuff that I don't ever put on Amigos because it's not really pertinent to the to what we do. And what I've been doing is I've started streaming. Well, I'm going to start streaming more modern games, and certainly games that are of a different sort of tenor than these are. I mean, I think tomorrow night we're going to be starting off the new channel with a stream of a game called Dead by Daylight, which has been out for a couple years, but it's new to me. Where one guy plays a classic horror murderer and he goes around trying to kill everybody. Pretty fun game. I get my buddies together on TeamSpeak and I'll put their names up on the screen so you can see who they are, so you can root for them, and we play the game. So we'll be starting that up. It's if you want to add ARG Presents, all one word, I believe, to your favorites. We'll be streaming on there, and that's going to be a channel from stuff that doesn't fit in on the Amigo stuff. I didn't want to put anything super violent up on there or anything, you know. So, I believe you can look. I think the channel will be called. It's already up. In fact, there's video in it that I've been testing. It's called ARG Presents. It's just the channel ARG Presents, and I think that's all one word. There's content on there for me just testing out stuff and testing out the front end and stuff. I'll be doing my modern streaming on there, and I think the Brent's going to stream some on there as well. And so, like I said, tomorrow night we're going to start off with some Dead by Daylight, but we're going to stream everything from Civilization to Civilization 6 to like a Mech Warrior. It's just stuff that doesn't fit in. We'll probably stream there a couple times a week. It'll probably be late at night, to be honest with you, because that's usually when we play the modern stuff. But I mean, if you're into that sort of stuff, you can always roll back and watch it. If you want to see me and the TeamSpeak irregulars play some wacky stuff. But we've had a good time with it. We were just looking at new stuff. There's, the funny thing is with these new services, they offer a ton of different games even for free. So we've picked up a bunch of different stuff to try, and we'll probably try some of that crazy stuff. Ooh, look at this Martian threat. I've never heard of this. Let's see here. 1. Oh, look at that. Cursive. Okay, I've never heard of this one. Whoa. Did I just die? I don't know what's happening. What in... Is this like... Oh, I guess they just poisoned the earth or something. This is like a lead up. I have no idea what's going on here. This is the darndest thing I've ever seen. Oh, I guess that's the world being destroyed. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Man, that in-between cutscene that's a long set. That's a neat animated globe. I'd say that's pretty impressive for the Odyssey. So what you're doing here is you have thrusters. I don't know where you're supposed to thrust to. Gosh, that... So what that picture is, it's a UFO bombing the Earth. That's what that is. I finally figured it out. Okay. So I thought those would hurt you, but they don't. That is very odd. I'd love to know what I was doing on this. I don't know if I'm supposed to hit that guy. Shoot. The controls are wacky. I think it actually screws up your controls as you play it. I'm going to hit this guy this time and see if I can kill him. Maybe I just have to run into him. Yeah, this bubbles actually screw up your controls. See you later, Mitts. That is a weird one there, guys. That's a strange one right there. That's going to take some getting used to. Well, I think Mitts has got the right idea, fellas. Probably time to put this bad boy to bed and call her a night. But hey, that was fun. Thanks for coming in, checking out the stream. It's a shame that we couldn't get the old girl up and running here, but we will try it next time. Anywho, thanks for checking us out. And if you have any suggestions on what you'd like to see, I own a lot of these old systems, so I'd be more than happy to try anything you'd like to see. And thanks again for everybody in the live chat. All you watching at home, take it easy. Have a nice night. Adios.